We do not have a 24-hour sun in the south.
The 24-hour sun in Antarctica doesn't work on a flat Earth.
On a flat Earth, you can't have a 24-hour sun, a midnight sun in Antarctica. And I totally agree.
In the flat Earth model, we say there isn't a 24-hour sun in the south, and there isn't.
There is no midnight sun in Antarctica.
Well, that's weird, isn't it? Because most flat earthers are now saying that it doesn't matter if there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. 22. That's how many replies I've made so far to flat earthers about the final experiment. No, wait, it's 23 if you include this video. And the one thing that really stands out is that they are pretty much now all saying that they never said that the 24-hour sun in Antarctica disproves flat Earth and proves the globe. So let's use telling the truth then, shall we? Please subscribe.
You know, one of the arguments that people give is on a flat Earth, you can't have a 24-hour sun, a midnight sun in Antarctica. And I totally agree.
So that's why you refused Will Duffy's invitation to go to Antarctica, because you know that when you do get down there, if you had said yes, you would have seen a 24-hour sun, which you cannot explain on a flat Earth.
There is no midnight sun in Antarctica. There's a couple of faked videos. I'm not just saying they're fake, they're clearly faked.
If you do understand that adding the word clearly doesn't add anything to your assessment of whether those videos are accurate or not. And if you weren't such a grifter who's only a flat earther for what you can get out of it, then you would have accepted the invitation to Antarctica and you would have been able to see for yourself whether you're right or wrong.
And we've dissected them for you. But as the sun, the sun moves, you see the light, it wraps around. So in Antarctica, in December, the sun is close enough to the dome where the light will wrap all the way around.
Right, hang on, I'm going to have to think about this. So in December, the sun on the flat Earth model lights up the entire outer ring, but the inner part of the flat Earth still gets day and night. Is that your claim?
And so you'll have twilight, but you don't see the sun for 24 hours in Antarctica ever.
So what about the 100,000 plus people who visit the continent annually? Are they all in on it? Are they all liars? And if you're this confident that there won't be a 24-hour sun when the final experiment is in Antarctica, I really can't see any reason for you to decline the invitation. You should have been the first in line, eager to get there to prove us all wrong.
And we've looked at their webcam footage, and we could watch the flag. They have these flags out in the ground and structures, and we'll watch the shadow goes around and then it jumps. They cut out 8 hours every single day. And they say they're doing that because, what was the reason? They said because there's not enough hard drive space, or it was just like, just show it, whatever. No, and the excuses they gave are just super lame.
So very similar to the excuse you made when you were invited then, Dave. But that is also another reason why you should have said yes. Because unless you don't believe what your own eyes show you, then you would have been proven wrong.
And what I found is anything that would prove the Earth is a globe, the globe science community lies about. For example, the 24-hour sun in Antarctica doesn't work on a flat Earth. It works in the north.
Right, we'll circle back to what you just said about the north in a second. Now, so far, Dave, you have on 3 occasions said that there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and on 1 occasion tried to show how there could be a 24-hour sun in Antarctica on the flat Earth model. So, which is it?
But not in the south. Well, guess what? There's thousands of videos of the 24-hour sun from Alaska and Norway and, very northern places. You can book vacations and go and watch it in June, right? But in December, the same thing should happen in Antarctica.
Which it does. Which is why Will Duffy booked the trip in December, so that it's guaranteed that you'll see a 24-hour sun.
And it doesn't. And there's 4 videos where they've clearly faked it. And we watch their cams, and there's 10 hours cut out of every day. Like, why are you cutting out the same 10 hours? So Why are they lying about the globe?
Dave, you lost your right to complain about any of this the second you declined the invitation, so get a grip.
So, David, accusingly, and rightly so, what about polar night / midnight when the sun doesn't rise / set for 1 to 3 months, depending on what parallel you're at? Explain it, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So day and night. If you look here on the app,
Yeah.
so the sun migrates in between the two tropics. The inner one is the Tropic of Cancer, and the outer one is the Tropic of Capricorn. In the summer, let me get to the summer. So we go to March, April, May, June. So in June, the sun goes all the way in here. Now, if you're in the inner north, the sun is getting very close to you, and it stays close to you. So you have your 24-hour sun in the inner north. And then 6 months later, the sun moves out to the Tropic of Capricorn, and it never gets close enough to Alaska or Norway to rise for like a month or so or longer, right? It's never close enough because it's so far away, it never rises. There's your polar night. Here's the problem. You should have the exact opposite, 24 hours a day and 24 hours a night in the south, but it doesn't happen.
But it does, and that's exactly how it works. When the North Pole is enjoying its 24 hours of sunlight during its summer, the South Pole is plunged into 24 hours of darkness, and vice versa. But you're not really a very good flat earther, Dave, are you? You contradict yourself every few minutes.
Yeah. So, and the problem is the in the south at the equal latitudes, you should have the same 24-hour sun, and there isn't. There's just 4 fake videos of it. And I'm not just saying they're fake. Go watch the videos. They're fake as F, okay? They're fake. They're beyond fake. They're done like now. You know what? NASA probably did make those videos because they suck.
I mean, are you really a flat earther if you don't blame NASA for anything? NASA have got nothing to do with this, Dave. And you said there's only 4 24-hour time lapses of the Antarctic sun. Well, I just put 24-hour Antarctic sun into YouTube and I stopped counting the videos at 10. So there's a lot more than 4, Dave. Just in case you weren't sure, 10 is more than 4. Just trying to help you out a bit. Right, who's next? Oh yeah, Nathan Oakley.
But during the sun tracking events, we had GIR showing us the midnight sun. He reported his location, reported his position, showed us the sun, showed that it never went down. I mean, this is irrefutable. This is, as far as I'm concerned, I'm amazed that it's even being debated, to be perfectly honest. As far as I'm concerned, it's not up for debate. We do have a 24-hour sun in summer in the northern parts of the hemisphere.
What? What's a hemisphere?
That's as simple as that. It happens. We've tracked it. We've seen it. I haven't actually seen it at midnight with my own eyes, which is a shame. I just haven't been far enough north in my travels as a rep. But I've seen more of what is described as a circling sun going further north, and you have too, Martin.
Yeah, but I was always in the engine room and it was so cold I stayed down there. So for me, it was a night, 24 hours a day.
Nice dodge, Martin. Yeah, of course you were there, but you didn't actually see it because you were hidden below decks.
But what we do know for certain, number one, is that we've got a sun that goes around us. In reality, in both models, in the one model, the heliocentric model, it would necessitate having a 24-hour sun in the south.
Well, that's lucky then, isn't it? Because that's exactly what we do get. And anybody who travels with Will Duffy and the Final Experiment is going to get to see it with their very own peepers. And with flat earthers, they'll probably come back and say, oh no, that doesn't work. Your eyes are round, so it makes everything look round.
Now, further to the fact that we do have a 24-hour sun in the south, the north, we do not have a 24-hour sun in the south. And this is something that's been, again, I've not been there. I can't say I've been and not seen it.
Evidence, haven't we?
But exactly, there's enough evidence to suggest that it doesn't exist.
Well, then it's your lucky day, Nathan, because according to the latest video on the Final Experiment channel, somebody has offered to sponsor you to go, which means they will pay all your expenses, including the ticket costs.
And we've had first-hand accounts from Robert Shortman, who absolutely has been down to the Antarctic for a full year, in fact probably 18 months, but just non-consecutive, to not see any 24-hour sun there.
Well, that's a weird thing for a flat earther to say, because don't most flat earthers unanimously agree that you cannot travel to Antarctica to freely explore? So are you gonna go, Nathan? Because I know you'll see this video, because I think you've got somebody searching for videos about you on YouTube every day. Will you go? Will you? You won't, will you? Because you know what it's gonna prove and you're all terrified.
So the reality of our world is that in both models we're supposed to have a 24-hour sun. In the flat earth model we say there isn't a 24-hour sun in the south, and there isn't. And there is a 24-hour sun in the north, and there is.
Right, so we've got one more clip to look at, and I'm not sure whether I've saved the best till last or the worst till last. So I let you decide.
You can buy a cruise ticket and go to Antarctica. And here's what's interesting. In 2019, the Flat Earth folks were going to take a cruise to Antarctica to prove their thoughts. Nothing ever came of it.
Here, let me explain that to you.
You can fly there today.
No, you can, fly there and see the coastline. That's about all you can do, a little bit of the
Oh,
coastline.
absolutely not.
Oh, yes. And if you want to go there and stay, you have to have permission from a government.
So basically, like every other continent in the world then. So when I travel to America to visit Chris Shapley in New Jersey, I have to have a passport, I have to apply for a visa. I don't just get let in, there are restrictions, even in America.
Have you ever seen the amount of stuff you have to
Yes.
fill out to go through there?
Yes.
And also, they're not going to let you go on an expedition inland just as a me or you. They're not going to let that happen.
Completely false. And as much as it pains me to agree with Stephen Anderson, because we all know he's a hate preacher, he's right. You can travel to Antarctica whenever you want, as long as you have the right paperwork, which is exactly the same as any other continent, like I just said.
And here's another thing. If this would be easy to prove, but they hide this from us too. All we'd have to prove is go to Antarctica. Let me and you go to Antarctica, spend a week there in the summer, and let's see if the sun does a 360-degree circle all the way around us. If so, it's a ball. But if the sun comes in this way and then leaves that way, then it's not.
Bang on, which is why we are traveling to Antarctica in December to witness it for ourselves. I mean, I'm not going because, big nipple, small willy weather, and I don't do well in the cold, but that's exactly the reason the final experiment is happening, so that people can see for themselves that the sun stays in the sky.
And they have webcam videos, right? At Antarctica, and there'll be a flagpole sitting there. And so if the sun's coming in this way, you should have a shadow here, and then it comes in and it should be here, and then it comes over here, and then it should just be back here. What they do is they never let you see 24 hours a day. They never let you. They cut the tape, they edit it, and Jaron of Jaronism actually has emails from them asking, why are you cutting the video? And they give him these stupid explanations like, it's too cold. We can't run it for 24 hours. We can run it for 16 to 18 hours. We can't run it for 24 hours.
So all the footage is doctored. Is that what you're saying?
Doctored, and they admit it's doctored.
So then why can't we go and just see it for ourselves?
Well, let's just see if they'll let us.
They will let us. I've already checked into it.
Now, this could be just me not paying attention, but I wondered if Will has actually reached out to Dean Odell and invited him, because that would be awesome.
They'll absolutely let us.
Let's go.
They will absolutely let us. And not only will they absolutely let us, I've got a cattle rancher in Texas that will pay for the entire trip.
Let's do it.
We'll fly right to Antarctica.
We stay 1 week inland. They're going to let us stay 1 week inland.
Oh, absolutely. There's people inland right now.
Union Glacier Camp in Antarctica is inland. It's about 700 miles or 1,127 kilometers inland from the Antarctic coast. Specifically, it's in the Ellsworth Mountains. Now, the camp is used as a base for various expeditions and is one of the most accessible and well-equipped camps in Antarctica.
Well, yeah, they all work for different governments of the world.
Nah, you can't. You don't get to use the governments of the world. There's a lot of people.
Antarctica Treaty, man. Antarctica Treaty. Read it.
Now, believe it or not, I have actually read the Antarctic Treaty, but essentially this is all it says. No military activities. No nuclear weapons. Yeah, Americans, I'm talking to you. It's not nuclear. You know, it's like this. There's no U in between the C and the L. Anyway, scientific cooperation, environmental protection, no sovereignty claims, and in this context, probably most importantly, open access. The treaty guarantees free access to all parts of Antarctica for inspection purposes to ensure compliance with all the other terms. Nuclear. Stop it! It's nuclear.
Go ahead. I'll tell you what.
That's crazy,
I'll tell you
Train.
What, why don't you try?
Oh,
to
I
go
will.
there by yourself.
Absolutely.
All right.
Wow, no. You agreed to go with me.
Without government approval.
You agreed to go with me.
Go over there without filling out the forms and see what happens.
Why would I go without filling out the forms when I can plainly fill out the forms, buy a ticket, and go, and they will let me in?
Well, that's not a bad burn for a scumbag hate preacher. He's 100% right. And as I said earlier in the video, and a few people have mentioned to me in my comment section, you cannot visit any country that you don't live in without the appropriate paperwork. So why are flat earthers making such a huge deal out of the paperwork required to travel to Antarctica? Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next one. Love you, bye.